There's only been one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade.
Marvel movies have had flop after flop after flop after flop, and a lot of people were experiencing, I wouldn't call it superhero fatigue, but like Marvel fatigue. But there were some standouts. A lot of the missteps with the writing just felt like Marvel was going in the complete opposite direction.
You ain't never gotta heat me up.
Oh, you are way more fun than my last lawyer.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Disney and these weird ass cameos, but they really need to stop.
Oh, we did fall in love.
Can I perhaps hold the baby?
He doesn't take kindly to strangers.
But one Marvel character that I absolutely was always rooting for and excited to see in theaters is Spider-Man.
You're gonna forget who I am.
What?
What are you talking about?
Spider-Man did incredibly well. Brand New Day was so clean with it, and it grossed over 1.6 billion globally in the first 2 weeks and shattered opening weekend records. But understandably, a lot of people have the question why. And it's really quite simple. Number one, he's very likable. Number two, this movie acts like a genuine culmination of the decade-long arc. And unlike many superhero blockbusters, the recent ones especially, that rely on all these big cosmic threats and godlike entities and everything's bigger, and even while it still acknowledges that there's a multiverse, that's not the focal point of the movie. It's about a deep human struggle. It still feels self-contained, which is what a lot of Marvel movies are missing. So good job, Sony, in this regard. Not just that, but I think what also helped this movie is that it's one of the leftovers from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And Spider-Man No Way Home. Peter Parker sacrificed his entire personality, social life, identity to save the multiverse. And because of this, he is left entirely in a world that forgot that he exists, especially the people who are the closest to him. And it follows this really simple formula that overarching stories usually follow, that they seem to have forgotten about.
Avengers!
Assemble.
We saw Spider-Man even die with the snap, and it was scary because when you look back over this scene, Peter Parker knew he was going to get snapped away. And I didn't realize it until someone pointed it out, so I can't take credit for it. But they said that he had spider senses, so he could sense the fear of it happening to him before it happened, which made it much worse for him than anybody else. And when you look at the new movie of how his senses are heightened because he is part spider, it probably makes this more agonizing. It's like when you spray Raid on an insect and they take really long to die and you feel horrible, but you don't want to squish their guts everywhere. It's actually pretty heartbreaking. So we had trauma and lost in this phase. Then we have No Way Home, where the memory wipe has to happen. And of course, a lot of action there. And because Spider-Man loves his friends, his girlfriend so much, he has to make the ultimate sacrifice. And so he basically tells his friends, look, I don't want to put you guys in danger. I have to wipe your memory. You're not going to remember who I am because, you know, everybody, they have to have their memory wiped. But I'll come and find you later. And this is really, really sad. And for everybody watching, they can understand they'd probably do this for their friends or the woman that they love. And then Spider-Man Brand New Day is about the rebuilding and resolution of the story. So we're still following that formula. The other reason I think that Spider-Man works so well is while all these other characters have these world-shattering powers, Peter Parker still remains grounded because he has rent payments. He deals with being a lonely man, taking on the sacrifice and responsibility of being alone and tortured to protect the people he loves, dealing with things alone. And a lot of men and people can relate to that. And he has emotional burnout. He's cut off from people. A lot of people can relate to this. Not just that, but with this movie, a lot of people wanted closure. With Infinity War, they built up the story for so long, over such a long period of time through several phases with teasing Thanos and all of that. And then you see these characters lose the people that they love. And there was this desperate desire from the audience to want to see the broken characters win and find closure and peace and a happy ending. It's a cliffhanger. And most of the story, this is one of the most important parts, were tied together with the movies. As far as I know, there were a bunch of TV shows that you were required to watch in order to understand the subsequent movies of Spider-Man. I don't know why they started with that formula. Actually, I do know why. Greed. By forcing people off of the big screen platform and forcing them into spending money to sit and watch shows, people who probably are only moviegoers and don't have the time to sit there watching seasons after seasons of shows, it was very stupid of a decision to tie together the narrative of some movies within these things that would require you to pay for Disney Plus to get the rest of the story when that's not how the story started. And the other thing is, I think that Spider-Man worked very well. I mean, the trailers were very good as well. But everyone loves Tom Holland. I think I love Tobey Maguire, but Tom Holland now is Spider-Man as well. He's new Spider-Man. And he infuses the role with this really earnest vulnerability. He doesn't come off as this invincible savior, but he just seems extremely resilient, just a normal guy from Queens or wherever that's bearing all this grief and continuing to choose responsibility. He has a world on his shoulders. And the most important part, he's very humble. He's likable and he's humble. And you just want to protect him. You don't want to see anything bad happen to him. And that's why people loved Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And the other reason people loved Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and why I think Tom Holland did a great job is because Tobey, he went through all of it. He was sweet, let people walk over him. And even while he was a superhero, when he was human, not wearing the suit, he still let people freaking talk down to him until he was affected by Venom. And this is one of my favorite scenes. Seeing how he exerted himself and the way that people just protected him. I don't see this happening in New York now. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I went back there recently and holy shit, almost lost my fucking mind. Now I remember why I had to become hardened and deepen my voice and everything just so that I wouldn't get freaking mugged. But Spider-Man gives you that hope. It's not about New York. I think it's a great movie also because people in New York are very angry people. Holy moly, are y'all angry? Good Lord. And seeing something like this, seeing how people are given hope when they have an idol to look up to, someone who's for the people, not someone, I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, it is something that is just so sweet. It's like a savior. When they were moving him across the crowd, he was kind of crucifix style, very artistic the way this was done. Realizing that he's just a guy, just like us, a regular guy who's willing to do all of this for us, who he doesn't even know. We don't thank him. He doesn't get paid. He saved our lives. And he's like, we got you.
We found something.
Whew, chills. I'm so glad that I watched this with my dad growing up because, dude, like, and the music will always be one of my favorite movies, favorite franchises, favorite series, whatever you want to call it, of all time. And I'm one of the few people that like The Amazing Spider-Man because it was a different take, but I was surprised talking to my dad like 2 days ago. He was like, yeah, I didn't really like that one. You, Daddy? You didn't like that? And Daddy loves everything when it comes to MCU characters and superheroes. But he didn't like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man because he didn't feel like Spider-Man. That's what Daddy said. And I guess also my dad grew up in the generation where he had comics and he followed the superhero lore, so he knows more about Spider-Man, Superman, DC, and Marvel and all that than I do. But Tom Holland, my dad loves the Spider-Man. He feels like Spider-Man. I think another thing that worked for Brand New Day as well is it avoided the relentless cynicism and misplaced quip humor that Marvel seems to do a lot. I mean, this is Sony, but when it was funny parts, it was funny. But when it was serious, there was no underhanded hee break for some humor, guys, right? So all the really serious parts felt like they were earned when they were resolved. I didn't think making a movie to Hollywood execs and directors and writers in 2026 or 2021 onward was going to be such an unattainable achievement, knowing how to tell a story and to tell it well. But apparently that's a dying breed. And we see that it's well executed in this movie. And I'm very happy. If they ended it here, I'd be happy. Also, one thing I was like, I think this is the Punisher, Shane from The Walking Dead. And I haven't seen that. So that's one of the things. But you don't need to have seen this to understand it, I think. I know he is. I know that, he's a guy that helps out. Did he save him on Staten? When did he save him? I guess it happened off screen or whatever. But I think it worked very well. They just brought in this new character and it was great. And we know that there's more about this character we don't know. I'm assuming with the Punisher, his people died because he's the guy from that meme that's like, no, wait. So I'm assuming, yeah, his family died. Yeah, I think that's the same guy. But they still made me love him, even though, like, we just actually met this character. That's crazy. And then the last part in the hospital, it was so heartfelt. That's how you do comedy. And because it was a real interaction. And when Spider-Man was like, You crying? And it felt real. It actually felt like these guys were friends in real life. Maybe they are. I don't know. But I felt like I wasn't watching a movie. I felt like I was there with them, seeing two friends interact, seeing a guy break down his walls because this guy that's much younger than him actually was badass and did something honorable, and it inspired this other guy. So all of those things together is what I think made this so amazing. Ned, he's amazing. I love his character. Of course, I love Zendaya. I know there's several people that are sick and tired of seeing her. I can never get sick and tired of seeing her. And I think it was very realistic where she's like, bro, I don't know who you are. So I want to see the next movies of these because I do want to see them end up together, especially since Tom Holland and Zendaya are actually married in real life. I think that's his wife or girlfriend, whatever. But you see them like together, they have crazy chemistry and the girl really, really, really loves him. So yeah, I'm looking for the resolution and also a storyline with him evolving. I thought it was gonna be Venom or something, but you see him get stronger and it's kind of like that power creep thing too. Oh, he has new powers. Embrace it, embrace the change. That was really well done. Like with Spider-Man, dude, they've just been locking in. Yeah, this movie was so good, I would go and see it again. One question I do have though, before I end this video. Ned says he's not weird or anything. You made that app because you love Spider-Man so much. But Ned, why would you do that? Because don't you think the villains are also gonna use the app to see where Spider-Man is? Or is it that people, it's just sightings? Even if it's just sightings, it's basically ways, right? You're kind of not helping Spider-Man because you're letting the villains also that use your app. No, I'm pretty sure Ned knows that. I'm pretty sure Ned is like, you know what? I love Spider-Man and this is for fans. But if the villains want to pay for my app, if you know what I mean, I'm not gonna hate it, you know? So Spider-Man's trying to do his job and the villains are all using the app. Oh, this is where he is. Let's just go the other direction or, you know, get ready for him, boys. Like, that was so dumb. Like, nobody considered that this was probably going to be, you know, I would think that Ned is an op. I'm sorry. I would think that Ned is like someone who does not have my best interest at heart as Spider-Man to make an app like this, to make it easy for the villains to find me. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. But outside of that, fantastic movie. Fantastic. And this guy, I don't know who he was or who he is, but I don't want to spoil so much. But yeah, he did a great job too. That actually feels like someone from New York who's about to kill you. Like the energy that he came with is like, yeah, I don't like you, bro. I might got a gun in my pocket, you know, like something. Anybody approaches me like that in New York, hey, so you good? I'm running or you're getting stabbed. Like, I'm sorry. So great job. Everybody did a great job for the most part. So if you haven't seen this movie, spend money on it. Like I would say, like I would go back and spend more money on it again. That's how much I liked it.
This how I fly. This how I fly. Long burn, deep thrust. Watch the weak ones cry. This how I fly. Slow then I climb. Make the whole sky mine. This how I fly. Hey, this how I fly. Hey, I ride hard and fast and I last through the night. This how I fly. Real gods last till the spaceship blast.